a seat, please, and we will begin as close to on time as humanly possible. We do have trustee Flood participating by technology. Participants by technology do count for quorum. We want to make sure he can hear us and we can hear him. So we will take the role of trustee Flood.
Trustee Flood, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, wonderful. Thank you very much. And this meeting, I think everybody knows, is streamed by YouTube. And we would, with closed captioning available. So to assist the captionists, please speak clearly and into a mic to ensure that you're heard correctly. In the interest of time and the importance of our presentation, I will dispense with any formal remarks except to say welcome everyone, and we're very pleased to be here and to introduce to you two of our three new trustees, Valerie Landry and Owen McCarthy. And welcome, welcome. It's great to have you on. So but we are really in Fort Kent. Think hard. Think hard. And I know that the Fort Kent folks tried to get some kind of video for us. It didn't quite work for the earlier meeting, but they are here in force with, and it is, I turn to President Hadeen for the presentation on University of Maine at Fort Kent, and we're just channeling our brains to be there.
Okay, so welcome to Fort Kent. Chair Riley and trustees, UMFK is pleased to have the opportunity to share our presentation today. We would like to thank UMaine for assisting with the meeting venue due to limited hotel accommodations in the St. John Valley during this May. I would like you to meet our UMFK presenters.
Whoa.
No.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today. And I would like to take just a moment to introduce each of our presenters here.
We're introducing ourselves.
Oh, okay.
You're introducing yourself.
Okay. So Dr. Ned Rupert Nason, Assistant Professor of Chemistry at University of Maine at Fort Kent. I teach a variety of different natural sciences classes, and I also am highly engaged in scholarship in the area of plant soil climate interactions. And today we're going to be teaching you all a little bit more about UMFK, and you're also going to be helping us to learn more about ourselves. And the way this is going to work is in just a moment, each of us is going to be handing out photographs of different areas on and around the UMFK campus. Each of you will work in pairs to come up with 2 to 3 words or phrases that best describe that picture from your eyes. Then each of us on the panel here will take turns presenting different slides that have those pictures on them. When each slide is presented, you'll have an opportunity to share out your reflections on what that picture means to you. And then that presenter will follow up with what that picture means in the context of UMFK. So with that, we'll start handing out those photos. And
introduce other people. Other people that introduce themselves.
okay.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jana Shavoya. I'm from Salinas, California. A little fun fact, all our produce like strawberries, lettuce, broccoli, stuff like that, all is shipped around the world and stuff like that. I have been in Maine since January of 2021. I'm going to school for my bachelor's in business, and I also play basketball for the university. And yeah, I'm also a work study on campus for admissions.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sergio Torres, and I'm originally from San Diego, California. I'm a junior nursing student at the University of Maine at Fort Kent, where I currently serve as the president of the Student Nursing Organization and the 2023 recipient of the Civic Engagement Award for my involvement on the ski patrol team at our local ski hill, as well as the assistant baseball coach for the local high school team. Thank you so much for having us here today.
Hey. Roger like that.
Hello, everyone. My name is Justin Dubois. I am the Chair of the Board of Visitors. I'm a alum of UMFK from the class of 2005, and I am the Business Development Officer at KDFL Credit Union. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Taylor Brown. I am an alum of the University of Maine Fort Kent as well, class of 2022. As a staff member at UMFK, I have the distinct pleasure of being the coordinator for student activities as well as the coordinator of residential life.
Enrollment and marketing are topics that have been front and center at UMS campuses for the past few years. Photos and images play a critical part of our communications with prospective and current students and all others who are interested in learning about UMFK. This interactive presentation will highlight pride points as well as opportunities for growth.
So at this point, we're going to go ahead and pass those photos out since I've already explained what we're going to do with them. And you'll take about 5 minutes to examine those and come up with some thoughts to share.
Well, we're gonna, when we see them, we'll probably know.
Okay, thank you.
What it means?
Okay, I think you're off task now. Say that. Sounds like you're off task.
Okay, so it sounds like everyone's off task now, so I just want to make sure we're bringing everybody back together. So picture number one, which I believe was on this side over here. Do you have any of the words or phrases that you would like to discuss? It's also on the slide, so you can see it.
Okay, so You don't want to crane your neck, you can look at this one. It's a very nice building, very modern building, very well presented. It is the library. I can't is it the Hake Library? Blake Library. So it's a modern building on a campus. The grounds around it are meticulously maintained, and we agree this is the most important building on the campus.
Thank you very much for your kind remarks and for noticing those things. So we noticed that the lack of student presence in this photo. We've been facing a declining enrollment since 2017. We've also noticed a change in where students spend their time when comparing pre-COVID and post-COVID times. The library used to be a place where students spent their time studying, getting together. Post-COVID, students never returned to those typical places. Instead, they migrated to the Student Success Center and the Zen Den, which are actually in the gray building adjacent to the library. This has forced us to learn what the students want and where they're most comfortable. Since we've adapted to these changes, we've seen an increase in matriculated students for the fall semester of 2023 by nearly 25%. Thank you.
So outdoor-based experiential academic learning is woven throughout the UMFK student experience. Shown here on this slide are three highlights of that experiential learning, starting with the picture at the left, which is the forestry students in one of their introductory classes, learning how to acquire and document measurements of trees in the North Maine woods. In the center, we have students looking at, it's like a small amphibian that they might find in a bog or a damp forest in northern Maine, perhaps for one of their biology classes. And then my favorite is the one on the right, which is students paddling a canoe in the limnology course that I teach every fall or every other fall semester. And I'll conclude by saying that UMFK has a very unique place in the outdoor learning venue, and that we're located in a bend in the Fish River, and we've also got 5 months of winter and a lot of cool opportunities there.
But there are words and phrases
Oh,
as well.
Limnology, which is study of inland freshwater systems. And I am sorry, I meant to have asked Kayla to share out first.
At this image, the words that came to mind was the potential that Fort Kent has for different research learning experiences, probably with an emphasis on conservation, outdoor education, the environmental sciences, and have really experiential hands-on opportunities in those fields.
Thank you. And thank you for sharing that. And that very much aligns with where we're going.
I believe group 3 was on my left-hand side right here. Would you guys mind sharing your thoughts of the picture at hand, please?
So we see Fort Kent as synonymous with winter, with snow, not surprising. We also see fun, competitive, beautiful, and diverse.
Thank you so much for that. UMFK prides itself on being a diverse community, attracting students from within the state at 63%, out of state at 28%, and internationally at 9%, which is made up of over 20 countries. The community surrounding the university devotes itself on providing activities for students to engage in during their time here at UMFK. Some of these activities include free skiing or snowboarding on Wednesdays and Fridays at Lonesome Pine Trail, our local ski hill. The outdoor center comes equipped with over 13 miles of trails where students can mountain bike, snowshoe, and cross-country ski for free. UMFK does a great job displaying our diversity with events put together by a wonderful student body, such as the Taste of Jamaica, which brought ethnic Jamaican food, snacks, and music for students to enjoy and experience. In addition to the Taste of Jamaica, UMFK held an international game night where students displayed and participated in activities that are unique to their specific country. By holding events as such, our university embraces the different cultures, ethnicities, and values that are present at our institution. Although the University of Maine at Fort Kent is tucked away in the northern Maine woods, we have become a melting pot for different cultures in Aroostook County.
Hello,
Hello, could I have those who had photo 4, please tell us a few of your words?
The Acadian Archives, and Ryan's been there before. We also saw collaboration. And if you look really closely, I think you see at least 3 or 4 different flags of Acadia in the picture.
Yes, beautiful. That's exactly what I was hoping that you'd notice. So for those of you who, as she pointed out, would notice, the flag that you see here isn't France's. The addition of the star is what sets apart the Acadian flag. Acadians were a group of French citizens who settled in the Acadia region after being forced out of their land in what is known as the Great Expulsion or Deportation in 1775. In these photos, you can see Patrick Lacroix and Madeline Soucy, 2 of our staff members at the Acadian Archives, which is dedicated to preserving and showcasing Acadian history and culture. The only other institution like this is in Louisiana, and that's actually where we get the term Cajun from. This fall and winter, the archives helped the Maine Acadian Heritage Council digitize collections from local historical societies, which just adds to the point of the collaboration. One way the archives has showcased Acadian history is by hosting a 5-week Zoom lecture series titled Acadian History and Culture during the spring semester, which had over 100 participants from 19 states, 6 Canadian provinces, and Switzerland. The Acadian Archives is not only dedicated to preserving and showcasing, but also educating. They collaborate with professors from UMFK as well as teachers in the high school to curate lessons involving Acadian culture and history geared towards students' majors and interests. You may notice in the photo on the right, Patrick and Madeline are examining what looks to be newspaper clippings and other old-looking documents. This is because the archives also does genealogy for the greater St. John Valley area. I actually got to experience this personally when I was still a student and working at the archives during the summer of 2019. I told the staff members at the time that my family was from across the border in Quebec, but the staff didn't think we'd be able to find my family history, as we may have just been out of reach of their normal locational scope. Lo and behold, a few keystrokes later, not only did I discover that we were able to find my family history and trace it back a couple hundred years, but both sides of my meme and pepe, my grandparents, were Acadian. Can I have those who had photo 5?
So we see a pet-friendly campus, and we're not quite sure whether that is a comfort animal or what, but a pet-friendly campus. We see a diverse campus, perhaps with a shortage of chairs. You asked us what we saw. That's what we saw.
Keep that in mind.
And we see a very friendly campus.
Thank you for pointing that out. We'll keep the chair comment in mind. So UMFK has 2 residence halls, the Lodge, which is an apartment style, suite style dorm, as well as Crocker, which is the more traditional style residence hall, both of which students enjoy immensely. The Lodge is the res hall you can see in the photos. On the right is the photo of the entrance, and on the left, you see the inside of one of the suites. Each suite in the Lodge has a common space which students can decorate and use however they would like, including, as you see here, playing card games using the tables provided without the extra chairs. You may also be curious, as you pointed out, the redhead, her name is Elaine, and her cat Olivia in the bottom left corner. Not only are ESAs, emotional support animals, allowed in both dorms, UMFK is also the first and only university in the university main system to have a wing in one of our residence halls, Crocker, which is pet friendly. We are very student-centered campus, and we listen to our students' feedback, especially about our long and harsh winters, which can be hard for students who may not be from the area and aren't used to all the cold and snow. We have designed specific areas that our students have requested, including renovating and transforming Crocker's basement into an amazing hangout space where students can watch movies, play video games, play pool, and even use a kitchenette area which has been built. The next addition that we are planning is to turn our offline res hall, Powell, into a veterans living and learning community.
Okay, photo number 6, which I believe was in the direction of Owen.
Collaborative across
the system, which was exciting to see, and then collaborative on the one-on-one level, which is great. And then we also described it as a very hands-on type of education is what we kind of the two that jumped out at us, and we limited it to two just so, we wanted to keep the messaging tight.
Thank you for noticing those things. So this is what we're calling the community connection slide. UMFK has been blessed to be a partner with the Maine School of Law and created the state's first rural practice clinic located on the UMFK campus. You can see that obviously in the photo on the left. We provide offices and on-campus housing for 2 student interns, which began in the spring semester of 2023. We held the ribbon cutting on April 28th. On the photo on the bottom right is Jobs for Maine graduates held a Maine Career Exploratory Badge event connecting to careers, employers, and post-secondary options for 250 high school students. The photo directly above that, we have Bengal Power Hour and Bengal Power Surge events brought together community professionals and students to discuss career paths, internships, and employment opportunities to benefit both the students and the employers, helping students gain experiences with interviews and having discussions with professionals. I was able to attend a few of these events representing Acadia Federal Credit Union and was able to have many discussions with a certain student from South Africa. And we decided to offer him an internship for 3 months this summer. This is important for students and employers during a time when finding employees to fill positions is extremely difficult. Thank you.
I believe group 7 is right in front of me. Yep, that's a picture. Oh, I didn't change here, but there it is. Sorry.
The nursing program is quite encouraging and certainly reminds us of the outreach to UMPI as well in the nursing program, and we're appreciative for that. I look at the photograph and it reminds me that we're also talking about up to date, since there's currently construction underway, which is why I think the background might be a little different than under construction. I only know that because I was recently up on the campus. Reminds us also that it's one of the largest programs at the university and one that's very well respected.
Definitely. Thank you for that. By the fall of 2023, which is this fall, the University of Maine at Fort Kent expects to be the first institution in all of New England equipped with 2 complete EcoHealth immersive simulation suites. With this new technology, students will be exposed to different scents, temperatures, and settings. This technology will come equipped with 8 mannequins ranging in ethnicity, gender, and ages, from newborn to geriatric. All of these mannequins are powered by AI technology, which allows for real-time prompting, making every single encounter more educational and realistic. Not only will these labs serve our undergrad nursing students, this technology is advanced enough to be used in the graduate nursing program beginning in the fall of 2023, allowing for the development of advanced nursing techniques. With the use of this technology, nurses from the University of Maine at Fort Kent and the University of Maine at Presque Isle will receive advanced training in the skills necessary to be successful in the nursing field. Thank you.
So Trustee Cates and President Fernie Monday, would you like to share your thoughts and reflections about this slide?
We didn't have this picture.
We're all set. Yeah. Yeah, so thank you. So outside that, 2 of the pictures don't have chairs in them. Engaging technology, hands-on and outdoor training. Thanks.
Thank you very much for sharing. And I will say that I think this is perhaps not one of my finer nights, but looks like we've decided to mix it up, and that's awesome. Keeps me on my toes, as does the content in this slide here. So this is really an extension of what we just learned about with regard to UMFK nursing. So we actually have a variety of other simulations and technology resources available on the UMFK campus. This includes access to GIS, or Geographical Information Systems tools. It includes a new esports lab that was built using research learning experience funds. and a number of mock scenario drills, such as the campus reunification drill shown in the slide on the right, in which we created a mock disaster scenario involving collaborations between faculty, staff, and students in the nursing, behavioral science, and public safety programs, as well as the drama department from Fort Kent High School and local first responders. The reunification drill serves not only as an exciting, engaging activity for people in our community, but also as a vital way to improve emergency preparedness in our small community. Shown in the top left is the new esports lab that provided an opportunity for the computer systems administration students to build new advanced computing systems that could be used to support a esports club that will begin its existence in fall of 2023. And it also doubles as a laboratory through which students can learn how to troubleshoot computing challenges in preparation for their future careers. And in the bottom left, we have students in Professor Landry's forestry class working with a guest instructor to learn how to use drones or UAVs to collect image data from Maine's forests and help create more versatile maps. Thank you.
I believe you had a photo 9.
And what we notice here is we notice happy students, a diverse student body, national championship in a couple photos, and it appears to be soccer and track. So it looks like a lot of Bengal pride, happy students, and maybe sports attracting students to the campus.
Thank you for your feedback. So this is photo 9, which is athletics. And since 2010, the athletics program have brought 15 national championships. 9 of those are being from women's soccer, 4 of those being from men's soccer, 1 from women's track and field, and 1 from men's track and field. The top and bottom left pictures are the men's and women's soccer teams at nationals. In 2021, the men's and women's soccer teams were both runner-ups, just coming up short. But the following year, in the fall of 2022, the men's and women's soccer teams both won nationals at Virginia Beach. With that being said, there was a donation by Jamil Simon for the soccer field, and that's to add the lights to the field for the community and for UMFK. They will be ready to light the lights, which is named the Michael Simon Field, for the homecoming in September 2023. The top right and bottom pictures are the men's and women's track and field teams. In the pictures, you can see both teams have won nationals for the first time since the school has been opened. A picture that isn't up here as well is the women's volleyball team, who also attended nationals at Virginia Beach. The women's volleyball team did the best this season with its best record since the school has opened, with 21 wins and 8 losses, and also got runner-ups at nationals. Lastly, the men's and women's basketball teams both had trouble the last 2 seasons, but should be better the next upcoming seasons. I was also a part of the women's basketball program, which was very fun, got to travel a lot, got to travel with the men's team a lot this year, and just had a lot of great food. Also, the UMFK gym just got new flooring, new bleachers and stuff like that. So very new, but thank you. And I believe you guys had this picture.
What I see is a diverse, spirited student engagement, community engagement, the students there. And if you look at the second one, they're extremely enthusiastic about the wooden fence they found. So they can build the chairs that they need. I think that's fun. I would recommend, since we do have trustee Landry here, who has relatives in Hussey seating, that they might want to look there for some chairs. So
Yes.
a lot of enthusiasm and community spirit.
Thank you so much. So this is photo 10.
President Rice has.
I was gonna add.
Oh, sorry.
As an English professor, Kathy Pelletier in her second most recent book, Northeastern.
Yes.
So, which is been going around the state doing readings.
Book club. So this is photo 10, which is student activities and experiences. In the middle right picture is the Can-Am. Crown is a 250-mile dog sled race that happens every year in Fort Kent and is a Iditarod qualifier. It brings thousands of spectators into town and provides a great opportunity for athletes to get involved, which you see is the athletes right there just having a great time. In the middle top picture is where people participate in the ski triathlon. This is a fundraiser for UMFK Foundation and is another example where students can get involved with the community. In the upper left corner is Will participating in the tie-dye t-shirt activity. The students can also participate in an activity called the open mic night, and that is the picture in the bottom left. On the bottom right-hand corner, students are participating in the wing night, which is located in the Bengal layer. This event was part of a watch party to support our national teams. We'll support our soccer teams at nationals. We also have different clubs and organizations on campus. The top right photo is a picture of our book club with Kathy Pelletier, sorry. Lastly, in the middle bottom picture is our Arctic night, where this particular night they had wild game, taxidermy animals, indigenous art, movies, and a Q&A, sorry. At the end, as a student, I have enjoyed many of the different activities that are here on campus. One of the activities that I enjoy most are bingo nights, and because you have a lot of chance to win different prizes, and the dance because they have a DJ and photo booths. Thank you.
Okay, this titled slide would be our Nowland Dining Hall, and I believe Jeff St. John and Carolyn had this.
So thank you, Justin. Carolyn made all the smart observations here, and I'll just add one of my own at the end. She noted the flags of the different nations and places that the students hail from. She also noted the diversity of the photo, and in particular that what looks like a mix of students and community members who are gathered together there on that day. All I really noticed was along the back wall on the left is the ice cream symbol. That's where the ice cream is. And Justin, if you ever travel to any other University of Maine System dining hall, the chancellor can tell you exactly where the ice cream is at any of those facilities. That's how I learned where the ice cream is at Fort Kent. So that's my contribution.
Important is it's strawberry. That's strawberry.
And I just have one quick note. You asked about our reactions, and I was very envious because some folks may not know, but UMFK was able to recruit away my favorite chef from my favorite restaurant in Central Aroostook to be the chef at their in their cafeteria. So I'm very jealous that you get to have Joe every day, and I don't only get to get him a couple of times that I'm up your way. So.
Well, thank you guys for noticing those things. And to be honest with you, I'm going to touch on every single thing that you spoke on. So this is our dining hall, which is commonly frequented by community members on a daily basis. There are even some community members who take advantage of meal plans through Sodexo. Is that correct, Trustee Martin?
Meals a day.
This photo was from the Sukade, which is an Acadian celebration that features favorite Acadian food along with local maple products and other sweet treats. Some of the other features of the dining hall are ice cream stations, which Jeff recognized, a salad bar, soup of the day, all-you-can-eat buffet, and action stations. The flags hanging represent all of the international students and their heritages who have been on campus during that specific semester. So that's not of all time, that is at that specific time during the semester. So that is quite impressive with all the flags you see hanging there. We have a student culinary council, and they requested that Sodexo increase menu variety and diversity to include authentic cuisine and reflect our campus population and the flags represented. So thank you.
Hi, so trustee Edmondson and trustee Lundy, if you could please share your reflections on this slide.
Sure. So trustee Landry and I observed that this slide has a lot of engagement that seems very relevant to the community. I did not recognize, others recognized and confirmed that this is our Chief Justice in the top left corner. It appears to be a research conference that is engaged with questions that would involve the community, whether it's snowmobiling, the Allagash Headwater, women engaging in sport. And so there's a diversity of opportunities for people to be engaged with serious matters that impact the campus.
All great points, all right on point. So this is the UMFK Scholars Symposium, which serves several roles, one of which, and most importantly, is to highlight students' scholarly activities and creative works. This year, we served about 50 different, or we showcased about 50 different poster presentations, as well as a number of oral presentations by students on multiple different sites on campus. Chief Justice Valerie Sanfil was our keynote guest speaker, and she was speaking on our campus in part to celebrate the inauguration of our new rural law practice clinic, which was established this spring, as well as our new 3+3 law program, which is an opportunity to get students from UMFK recruited into USM's law program. We followed that keynote presentation with a panel discussion involving Toby Gendreau, one of the local attorneys, Chief Justice Stanfill, and a number of other prominent voices in Maine's legal profession to discuss different legal issues facing Maine and how the university system can contribute meaningfully to addressing those challenges over the coming years.
I believe group 13 was over here. Would you mind sharing a few of your words and phrases?
Yes, absolutely. So our photo, the first thing we thought of was really pride in place, because this is a place to see. It's historic. We thought about connections with the Canadian border, presumably pretty nearby, indicated by the flag. The beauty of Maine, outdoor adventure. We thought Dirigo, Drago, sort of I lead with the first mile. And then, I'm not sure if it's the Allagash or whether the students are standing, but a lot of the connection to the outdoors and to the border.
All very great points. Thanks for noticing those. So as they have pointed out, this main photo shows the beginning of US Route 1, America's first mile, which starts in Fort Kent, Maine and ends in Key West, Florida. So there's also the Northern Forest Trail, which is a water trail that spans 740 miles, which ends in Fort Kent, but starts in Old Forge, New York. So the photo of First Mile is also directly on the border of Maine and Canada, as you pointed out with both flags, and is less than a mile from campus. UMFK is recruiting students in Canada now that the borders have opened and COVID restrictions have been lifted. Although UMFK campus is less than a mile from Canada, students enjoy driving 30 minutes down the river to Edmundston, which is a city across the border with a population of 25,000. Students enjoy going to events here and in Quebec City, like the Winter Carnival and German Market, as those places have bilingual speakers. You probably noticed a group of 5 students and our forestry professor, Stephanie Langer, right under the US flag. The UMFK forestry program is collaborating with 3 Canadian institutions with forestry programs and MOUs, which are under evaluation to acknowledge our forestry program in Canada and to establish student exchanges. UMFK is also currently working with a collaboration with 7 high schools in Northern New Brunswick. We are building strong relations with schools and institutions in Canada as Canadians can receive in-state tuition at UMFK, which can't happen anywhere else. Thank you.
Thanks. Sorry, I was just enjoying that so much. Didn't talk for a while there. Thanks to all of you for your active and engaged participation during our presentation. Many experiential learning examples and photos are of out-of-doors activities. We typically see it. It's always, whenever we think of the word experiential learning, we immediately tie it to being outside. Today's experiential learning was an inside partner activity with a share out, a combination of your words and phrases, factual information, and the presenter's personal experiences provided a deeper understanding of each photo. We welcome you to join us at UMFK so that you can create your own experience. What photos and images will tell your story? Trustee Riley, we would like to open for Q&A.
Thank you very much. That was terrific. Really, really well done. You managed to really make us feel like we were there. Questions, comments?
Why don't we stand up right here so that then different people can go to the mic.
Bob, Trustee Alexander.
A wonderful presentation, of course. One of the most amazing visits I've had in my short time as trustee was my visit to Fort Kent. I really appreciated it. And I must say the food was absolutely outstanding. The choices and the quality are high level. I was wondering if you could give us some more information about the history of the campus or the students coming from Canada to your campus. I know you were really hard hit with the COVID restrictions, and what is your expectation or plan for trying to bring that back into your programs?
Anybody feel prepared for that one? Want to do it? Want to do it? Sure. Yeah. Great.
I can speak to at least some of those points. So going back, I think it's maybe about 10 or 15 years, we used to get a lot of students from Canada in our education program back when that was centered at Fort Kent. There were some changes in how education credentialing was structured in Canada that then reduced the number of students coming over for that. More recently, of course, the pandemic has made it much more challenging until the past year for students to cross the border. So that also meant that it was much more difficult to recruit people from Canada. With the border now fully open, we are able to send admissions counselors over to Canada. As was mentioned, Stephanie Landre, one of our forestry faculty who has connections to some different groups of forestry professionals on the other side of the river, has also been working very actively to bring forestry students over and to harmonize the credentialing across the US and Canada. And anybody you want to add to that?
Could I ask a follow-up on that? What do I remember, President, some discussion about credentialing nursing in Canada and efforts to get cross-credentialing?
It was focused on the forestry program is the one that we had talked about. Yeah, is that to ensure that when students graduate from UMFK, if they are from Canada or if they're from the US and are choosing to work to take a position in Canada, they will meet the standards.
And so if a nurse comes and takes the great nursing program.
Aaron, you want to come? We got Aaron here.
Aaron question.
Dean, Aaron, Susie.
Didn't mean to set you up, Dean.
Oh, that's fine. Thank you. I can stay here all evening if you'd like, but it's okay. I won't, but if you want me to, I will. So in Canada, they recently adopted the US licensing exam. So Canadian graduates take the National Council licensure examination. So the same NCLEX that our graduates take, they also take that in Canada. In my experience with our Canadian students, they often are required to take the NCLEX in the US and then also take it in Canada. And I have to verify the number of clinical hours right down to the last hour, which sorts of units they've spent time in to complete their clinical rotations, and how many hours of simulated education, hands-on education, how many hours in the lab. So it's a lot of paperwork, but they typically do well if they pass the NCLEX in the US and Canada. They do it in Canada as well. each country that uses the US NCLEX can set their own passing standard. So some other countries also use the US licensing exam, and the passing standard is just different. It's different for every country. They're able to set their own. Yeah. And they spend a lot of time translating it into French as well. So the
Yes, they
students
do.
can, so graduates can either take it in French or English. They can choose which way to take it.
I think trustee Kane has a follow-up on that.
John, on this.
No, that's
question.
Okay.
great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I've been to Parkett many times and had the occasion to speak at commencement not too long ago. And my question, I was blown away by the diversity. And you're not of for a place that is so embedded in Maine identity, right? As is all of Aroostook County, for so many students to come from away and from away to come to Fort Kent. So I'm curious from a student perspective about why Fort Kent? Right. I mean, it's a place that a lot of Mainers haven't been to, too many, in fact. And so I am wondering about if you could share your experiences about why you chose Fort Kent.
Yeah. So like I mentioned earlier, I'm originally from San Diego. My uncle married a guy from Booth Bay, Maine, and he actually went to the accelerated program at UMFK. And I was doing EMT stuff down in San Diego all throughout COVID, and he knew I wanted to go to nursing school, but it's just, I'm sure as everybody knows, California is just super expensive to do that. So at first I Googled Fort Kent and I was like, thank you, but I don't think this is for me. Like I surf and I skateboard and I couldn't do all that stuff. I actually didn't pick up a snowboard up until last season, and I became ski patrol this past season. So I picked it up really fast. Yeah, so that's how I ended up here. And now I met people from South Africa. One of my best friends is getting married in a couple of years, and he asked me to be part of his groomsmen actually. And I just met him. So you develop relationships super fast out there because it's such a small community and you run into each other all the time. And you just kind of gravitate towards the faculty, the staff, and all the students and you see different cultures, different foods. I was eating with my friends. I feel like I was around the world. I never thought I was going to go to a little town and meet some of my best friends from everywhere. So it's great. Yeah. Thank you.
Hello. I'm from Salinas, California, and one of the main reasons that made me come to this beautiful town, Fort Kent, Maine, was mainly basketball and school, honestly, because where I come from is less fortunate. Not a lot of kids graduate high school, not a lot of kids even go to college or junior college or anything like that. So when my coach asked me, oh, where would you like to go for basketball or anything? I was like, anywhere far. So
Bingo.
yeah. So when she came up to me and was like, so what about Maine? And I said, where's Maine? What's Maine? What is that? And so just like Sergio, I looked it up and I was like, this is way different. Culturally, houses, everything is just way different. But I literally fell in love and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. So that's what made me come out here. So, and meeting all the new different people and stuff like that. So, yeah.
So no, I'm not from Jamaica or any of those other places, but and I'm a resident of Fort Kent, but I can tell you that I graduated from UMFK in 2005. And at that time, Argentina was our place of recruitment. And we had an influx of Argentinians that came in. And if I would have learned to speak Spanish in college, I would have been really, really good at all of my classes. But that's shifted. So we've seen Jamaicans now, and it's hilarious. Across from Trustee Martin's house, we called it Jamaican Corner for a while because there were so many of them, and they have their cookouts, and it's just, we're such a welcoming community, and we embrace the diversity because we don't usually have it. So it's so nice to have that. Like I mentioned in my speech earlier, we have people from South Africa, and we have more opportunities out there. So I think we have to find different niches that we can tap into, and hopefully we can keep attracting more people. And our goal, as much as we struggle with outward migration for everybody in the state, is to try to keep these people here. So, or keep them, this is Fort Kent. So we're trying to keep them in Fort Kent. So it's amazing having talked to them at Bengal Power Hours and big Bengal Surge events, how many of them actually want to stay. So they've come from so far away, and they realize how welcoming our community is, and they embrace the small town that we have, and they want to stay. So now we just have to provide them the opportunities for employment and everything else. So great recognizing that.
You've knocked our socks off. It's really clever with the photos. Thank you so much. I think this has just been very informative. We feel like we're there, but we will be there next year. Thank you. Well, that was a great kickoff for this meeting. I really appreciated it. And it's just, and to hear from students who love their university as much as that is just very compelling. So stay in Maine. With that, we conclude our business for today. We'll reconvene tomorrow, 8 o'clock for breakfast, and what time's the meeting start? 9? 8:30. The meeting starts. I knew that. And this evening, the board will reconvene at Buchanan on the opposite side of the campus for a reception and dinner. So with that, thank you very much. And thank you. It's been lovely to be here in Fort Kent, and amazing how quickly we're going to be able to get to Orono. I know. You know what? I almost left my car there and walked, and then I said, oh, I can't do that. You have luggage? Where's your luggage? Oh.